Welcome back to Film at 11 on Vicksburg Daily News. I'm Tommy Parker. Joining me again tonight is District Attorney Ricky Smith. Ricky, let's talk about the subject of recidivism. The people that your office, our court system, our law enforcement officers deal with on a daily basis, or weekly or monthly. They're the habitual offender of some sort. What are we as a society, within the confines of the system, doing wrong? Why do we deal with these people habitually? And is there anything our viewers might need to know about that?
Well, that's a pretty wide question. What we're doing wrong, I guess, is, you can start even from the beginning. The home environment that a lot of these individuals grow up in is probably the start of why things are going wrong. We don't have the strong family unit that we used to. There's so many single-parent families, which is not in itself a negative thing, but those single parents themselves are having problems in many cases. That they're having problems with drug abuse or incarceration. So it's been a problem that has come down through generations. So the first step is to try to integrate back into the community a sense of family and of discipline to children. Now, once they get older and have been convicted that first time, the community needs to try to come together to help those individuals. And it's hard sometimes for people to do that. Well, this guy's been convicted of a felony. I don't want him around my business. And that's understandable. But in order to make sure that these people have a possibility of making it in society, they've got to have a job. They've got to have a way to earn a living, because if they don't have that way to earn a living, they're going to make it the way they've always known how to make it, and that's in the criminal element. So employers probably need to be a little more open about employing those who may have stumbled. We need the support that we had talked about before for the programs like the drug court, so that we can get those people in the drug court, have them monitored long enough that they can come off the addictions that they have. There's expert opinions in the field of addictions that say that it takes at least a year off a drug in order for the brain to get back to the point it was before that person started using it. And so you've got to have a place, I think, like the drug court, and that can monitor a person closely for that long a period of time. So we need the community to get behind the drug court and make sure that it's well supported. But and then on our part, for those who will not take either of those options, but decide that they want to continue doing their criminal ways, we take care of it by making sure they spend a lot of time in prison. We've given life sentences to several people who are habitual offenders. We've asked for life sentences under the habitual criminal paragraph that allows us to give life sentences for someone who has committed 3 or more felonies. We've done that. So there are a lot of issues that work on that.
I've taken note also, in addition to the life sentences, they begin to dole out some very, very long sentences, especially on these manufacture of methamphetamine cases and things of that ilk.
That's true. We've gotten some cases that have been in the 15-year plus sentences for people who are involved in that. Some as high as 30. Violent crime, we take a very hard stand on violent crime, and we make sure that those people who commit violent acts against the people here in the community spend a lot of time in prison. So it's a multi-pronged type of approach to try to correct the problem of recidivism, and there's a lot that can be done. Of course, if the economy was better and we had more jobs available, I'm sure that would help. But we have to deal with what we have, and that's where we are in the community as far as that's concerned.
On the subject of the criminal element, been having discussions with yourself, with Sheriff Pace, with Deputy Chief Dolan, and Chief Armstrong. Crime Stoppers is being kind of retooled in our community. The Sheriff's Department's been a part of it for a good while. The Police Department's now coming on board. We're going to all work together to help round up some of these people. Your thoughts on Crime Stoppers and just the thing in general, if people have crime information, We need it funneled to the correct agents.
That's exactly right. I'm very happy to see Crime Stoppers coming back as a viable entity in fighting crime, because the police officers can't be everywhere all the time, and most of the criminal element knows that they will act differently when officers are around. So the people in the community are a priority in getting us information to make sure that we convict those who are committing the crimes out in the community. And that's Crime Stop Neighborhood Watch. Neighborhood watches in the different areas I know they have started springing back up. And I think that is a very positive thing for the community. You watch your neighbor's house, your neighbor watches your house, those types of things. Because, again, we need those eyes and ears in the community to help us get the people who are doing the crimes out there.
One of the things I'm sure that's always a problem in your office is public apathy. They don't want to get involved, but yeah, they're usually the first one on your doorstep to complain.
That if I have to say one thing that really has surprised me about being on this side, on the prosecution side, is the apathy that I do see in the community sometimes. We've had one of the few cases that we have received a not guilty verdict on was a murder case in Sharkey County. Nobody would come forward and tell law enforcement what happened. I know there had to be multiple people around when it happened. I know there's somebody out there who knows what happened in that case. But until those people step forward, it's difficult, if not impossible, to convict sometimes. And it does get to me sometimes that those people who commit those crimes are still living in your community, yet you won't come forward and tell us what you know about them. The apathy of people who dodge jury service. I mean, that kind of surprises me sometimes too. We send out 200 summonses for jury service, and 80 or 90 people show up. I mean, we need to have a good, strong, safe community. It takes everybody's efforts, not just the police, not just the sheriff's department, not just us. It takes the community's effort, and that entails telling officers what you see, knowing that those officers aren't your enemy. The enemy is a person committing the crime in your neighborhood, whether that is your neighbor or your cousin's cousin or whoever it is. That's the person that the focus needs to be on. The law enforcement is not the enemy of the community. Law enforcement is a friend of the community, and they should be treated that way. And we just need the people of the community to step up and tell us what's going on. I can promise them that I will prosecute people to the fullest of my ability. I'm not going to sidestep my requirement as prosecutor. If they will help me, I'll make sure that those people are taken care of.